Ciao Juventini, welcome to the AJC. I'm Alberto and I've got all the morning's news surfacing around Juventus, all right, to August 29th. And we are going to talk about Max Allegri, some apparent frustrations with the Mercato and where it could finalize. We've got the latest ex-Juve player and champion to criticize Max, and why is he criticizing him 2 games into the season, all right? We've got some final pieces of business that could be getting wrapped up very, very quickly in the Mercato, and a tricky situation that could be facing Juve in regards to Paul Pogba. I want to know what you would do in that scenario, all right? So, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's rock and get into the news. Kostic is first up, all right? Now, apparently, according to these first 2 games, what we would take out of it is that out of the 3 players, Cambiaso, Illing Jr., and Kostic, that Cambiaso is in the lead and he is the 1A option. Illing Jr. was chosen as a substitute against Bologna and came in, and it paid dividends for Juve as he assisted with a beautiful cross to Vlahovic for the equalizing header goal. Now, if this is true and this is where it sits, the rumors suggest that Kostic will simply not be happy with where he sits on the depth chart. So we know Juve has been willing to move him, but why hasn't it happened? Well, apparently they have only gotten loan offers for the player, all right, and nothing in terms of final deals. Juve wants to see a finalized sale, something complete, something definitive, and they have not been able to get those offers. With this really doesn't technically change anything if Kostic is happy or unhappy, because we still have to have someone come in with a definitive sale. I do not believe, even if Kostic is unhappy, that Juve is just going to turn on that and make it a loan. What's being rumored is that Juve would take the Kostic sale and then find a backup for Timothy Weah on the right side. Emil Holm's name still lingers around and swirls around Juventus, okay? And we know he's gotten closer to Atalanta, but there's nothing final there, and the reports still suggest that Juve could come in and swoop up Emil Holm, but they'd have to find a sale first. What does this mean if we were going to find a backup for Weah with McKennie? Well, nothing's changed with McKennie. Obviously, he's been chosen as the one to come in and offer relief for Weah, but he has been on the Mercato the entire time. The problem is he didn't accept offers to the 3 clubs that were having serious interest in him, and outside of that, there wasn't a ton of interest, so it really doesn't change anything for Weston McKennie and Juventus. Still on the market, always has been. They just can't find a move. Will Juve settle, though, and see some loans out for these guys? That is still yet to be determined. As we run into the final days of the Mercato, we will have to wait and see. Bonucci, everything we're hearing is that it's finalized, locked up with Lazio. He has had discussions with Sarri. It is done. However, 30 minutes before me recording this video, Mirko Di Natale comes up and says, hold on, because Roma has contacted Bonucci and his entourage, and now all of a sudden that is on the table. Could they come in and swoop Bonucci from their crosstown rivals? That'll be interesting to see, but one way or another, look for Bonucci to be finalized very, very soon, obviously, as we are getting near the end, and it looks like he is going to remain in Italy, okay? Miretti and Hans Nicolucci Caviglia set to stay, and I like this, and we talked about this on the post-match podcast after the Bologna game, and Miretti for me offers something that a lot of the other guys don't bring, and that is a very direct north-south player in the middle that really helps our transition game a lot, and I think we really noticed that in the game against Bologna, not having him out there. Paul Pogba came in and played a big part, and he immediately, even at what seems to be 50-60%, because he does not look like a fully fit guy, still brought a lot and brings a lot and continues to. However, the rumors still swirl that Saudi Arabia could come in. Now, as of a few weeks ago when we asked the question, would you move Paul Pogba if a Saudi Arabia team comes in, even if it's a minimal offer or whatnot? Yes, was the vast majority, because of the wage savings. You could bring in another midfielder and, of course, just find some type of money because he came in for free. However, now, a couple days left in the Mercato, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I don't think the replacement is going to be equal to the level that Paul Pogba brings, when he is on the pitch for Juventus, and we have little time to bring in somebody. And is it going to be to that level? Even if we're talking about a guy like Samardzic, who is still said to be, keep eyes for him and Juve in the future if he doesn't move from Udinese now. So now we all have our fingers crossed that he stays at Udinese and we could pick him up in the future. He would be a great addition, but not to the level of Paul Pogba, in my opinion. I would have loved Samardzic if we saw a younger guy like Miretti or Nicolussi Cavilli go out on loan, all right? But now I think it's too late, and you have to stick with Paul Pogba, even if an offer comes in here in the next couple days. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Don't just let me know about that. Let me know about everything that we're talking about today, okay? Now we get to Marco Piazza. He is set to leave reluctantly, heading to Turkey because he was refusing it a week ago, but I think it's time to bite the bullet and just realize where you stand in your career, my friend. And it looks like he is set to go to Turkey. That should be done very, very soon, according to Romeo Gresi. Now we get to Max Allegri. Max Allegri apparently being frustrated with the Mercato. He wanted a striker and a midfielder to come in to kind of change things for Juventus. It doesn't appear that he is going to be getting that, and everything is going to remain status quo. We have only brought in Timothy Weah so far. Sure, could be something happening late, but if I was going to bet on it, I would probably at this point just bet on a few outgoings, and that's it. Wrap things up. Maybe, just maybe, a player comes in, but I highly, highly doubt it. Now, in terms of his frustration, this could also be Juve posturing in terms of not going full out in terms of committing to Max Allegri. And just hear me out on this, because we are going to include some words around the street from Turin and whatnot. But Juve, these are facts, held job interviews for Max's position, okay? And we knew that Conte had come to watch a game late in the season there. He did have a job interview. Tudor had 2 interviews, one in person, one over the phone, all right? And they were looking. In the end, it went to vote, and the vote was decided to stick with Max Allegri. Now, can we not all agree that there is a good chance Juve could be posturing up and not wanting to go all in terms of moves when you are tight financially on a coach who they were thinking about getting rid of? Ultimately, he is still here, but I think you could believe the fact that maybe Juve is posturing, not going all in on Max and saying, this is what we're doing. We are mindful of the finances. This is what you're going to get. I think that's highly likely, to be honest. And some fans will feel a certain way about this. Like, you have to back up your coach. Even if you didn't want to, you got to give him what he needs, what he wants and whatnot. But this is a tough situation when you're looking at the finances and whatnot. And again, it always comes down to what we believe in the roster. For me, again, I think remaining at the same should help from a chemistry standpoint and whatnot. I think we're seeing a Vlahovic that is determined to set the critics wrong, and also a Chiesa that is. But Chiesa's first half against Bologna, very, very weak. So was Dušan's, to be honest. The entire team fell flat in the first half there, but they've got to find that energy that was there against Udinese and start games off like that. One thing's for sure, I think there could be a little posturing from Juventus and some reluctancy to just go all in with Max, and it is a shame ultimately, but hoping that it works out for everyone in the long run. As far as Vlahovic goes, the report suggests that he was willing to make the move because Juve, and he was expecting to be dealt because of the financial situation and whatnot, but apparently he is happy and has always wanted to stay at Juventus and prove himself. So those are the latest reports, and we will see if he can continue. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. Hey, keep it rolling, my man. Keep it rolling. Now, in terms of Max Allegri, we have a former Juve player and ex-champion, Ravanelli, criticizing Max. Now, he did start off saying he has full and utmost respect for Max Allegri. However, he cannot understand the decision of starting Alexandro when you have Gatti, who can grow and can grow quickly and has shown that he can grow quickly, waiting there, and you continue on with a guy like Alexandro, who has cost us many matches. Those are the words from Fabio Ravanelli, absolute legend, all right, scored the goal in the Champions League final that ended 1-1 and then went to shootout, and of course Juve won. That was our last Champions League. Now, you guys, some of you out there don't like it when I criticize Max Allegri, and some out there say, well, what have you won? Well, Ravanelli has won. And he's not bringing up the fact about Sandro being left-footed, right-footed, or Gatti right-footed, anything. He's just saying he doesn't understand going with this. And we had a lot of criticisms last year, and I had a lot as well, saying you absolutely cannot let Sandro hit an automatic renewal. But here we are. Max had him hit the numbers. He's got him around, and he's still leaning on him. Against Empoli, in our post-match podcast, we said this is absolutely the time to keep the competition going at positions, and you play Gatti no matter what. All right, and I do not expect Sandro to start. Will Max do it? We will see, everybody. But that wraps up your news breakthrough today, all right? Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. But the best part is mixing it up with all you. So let me know in the comments section what you think about all the news you heard here today, all right? And let's mix it up tomorrow. Another daily update video. Again, look for a live call-in show on Thursday morning. That's what I'm hoping to do, all right? And then we can get you guys all involved and hear your comments, thoughts on the latest news as we get close to wrapping up the Mercato, all right? As always, fino alla fine, forza Juve, ciao tutti.